guys, welcome back to another week of a WoW Weekly with Myst, and for this week we have Shadowlands Dungeons is the weekly. That is the good one. There's 2 weeklies that issue you loot at the end of the quest, and one is time walking and one is the dungeon quest. The dungeon one is like a good 20 item levels higher, at least at the moment it is. And yeah, so that's the better one. So definitely this is the week if you need loot on your alts or even maybe your main character. This is the one you want to get done. If you don't do Mythic Plus, you can just do some quick M0s and you'll be good to go. PvP Brawl will be Deep 6 this week. If you are on NA servers, the pet leveling in WoD will be this week. It's going to be on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, you can just hang out in your garrison and just pet level till you're sick of pet leveling. And then we actually have a real event going on, and that is the Midsummer. So Midsummer Fire Festival is back. And it will be here until July 5th. And there's a lot of achievements you can get through it, as well as a title also. And last year, I think I had done a vendor video of what was on the vendor. Not totally sure at the time of doing this video if they're adding anything new this year, but I will dig up that video, and if I'm right and I did do that video, I will have it linked at the end of this video. And I'll also link the pet leveling in WoD as well for those that maybe are new to that and don't know how to start that all up. And one other event is something that I scheduled in myself, so it's a community event, not like a WoW weekly or anything. But I have decided I want to start working on the Shadowlands dungeon achievements, which gets you a mount. This is the mount here that you get from it. I'm gonna set it up in 3 separate days, which is technically 3 weeks, because I'm gonna do it on stream so that you guys can join if you want to. Or we can set up multiple groups if there's lots of people interested. And we are just going to do, there's 8 dungeons involved. And I thought a good way to casually do it, to where people aren't like getting burnt out on doing it all in one day, is to set it up on the Tuesdays, the reset day streams. Which, for the most part, I wing those streams all the time anyway. I never know what I want to do on those streams, so it's a good day to do it. And so, this Tuesday, we'll do 3 dungeons. We're going to start with Necrotic Wake, Theater of Pain, and also Spires. Since they have to be on Mythic, these would count towards your weekly. So it's kind of, it's a great week to actually be doing some dungeon achievements. And yeah, so that's what we'll do this week. And then the next following Tuesday, I'll set up another 3 dungeons. And then the Tuesday after that, we will do the last 2 dungeons and get our mount. So if this is something that interests you, join the stream on Tuesday if you're interested in that. It's going to be a later stream on that day because I'm setting it up in the evening to accommodate, the people in the guild, because they usually don't get home till later on and play. So it will be starting at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And that is the weekly events. Okay, so not too much news for WoW this week, but I did dig up some stuff. So one thing that we did notice this past week is that the report advertisement is back in there. I don't know if it ever was worded that way, but there was a way you could report. Also on screen here is some hotfixes. So basically all has to do with Mythic Sepulture. So hotfixes for the bosses. Okay, so as for me and my accomplishments, I actually got something I've been trying to get for years this week. So I think we did a good accomplishment week. During the reset stream this past week, right at the end, I decided to just go see if Poundfist was up. He's a rare that's out in Gorgrond. And his spawn timer is between 50 to 100 hours. I actually thought it was lower than that. I thought it was like 72, but yeah, 50 to 100 hours is his spawn timer. Now, the good part of him is there was a bunch of mounts in WoD where if you were just there and did the kill, it was 100% mount drop. And so he does work that way. So as long as you do find him up, you will get the mount. It is 100%. But like I said, basically the earliest spawn that anyone's mentioned ever is like 50 hours. And then the longest was 100. So that is your time frame you're looking at. So this is why I was really happy to see him. I just randomly decided I was just gonna go check, and then we were gonna end, right? Which is what I did. That is how I ended the stream. But yeah, I honestly always expect to just go out there and he's not there, and yeah. So very cool. I'm almost done with those now. There's just one left that I haven't gotten my hands on yet, but we knocked out the toughest. Poundfist is by far the longest timer. So yeah, I was really happy regarding that. So that was accomplishment number 1. And then accomplishment number 2, I actually posted on the channel yesterday, and it is the Paladin Transmog. So basically there's a quest line you can do that came into the picture for 925, and it's a Blood Elf quest line. But if you just do it on a Blood Elf Paladin, you'll get all the items. You'll only ever have to do that quest line once. And yeah, it's just much better if you just choose the Paladin. Takes maybe, I don't know, we'll say 30 minutes to an hour, depending on your item level. It may take you a little longer if you're lower item level, or if you don't have legendaries, So give or take 30 minutes to an hour. At the end of it, you will get 3 items. You will get the Veil Touched Rancier. There is also a mount, the elusive Emerald Hawkstrider. And then there is also the Paladin Transmog, which is called the Dedication Set. Well, it's Blood Knight Dedication Set. And they're all really nice. I actually really liked this quest line, and I enjoyed the rewards coming from it. So yeah, I highly recommend doing this if you have, a Horde character. I know not everyone rolls both ways, but, if you do have a Blood Elf Paladin, and if you don't care about the Paladin Transmog and you have a Blood Elf, you could always just go do it, and you'd get the mount and the weapon. Okay, next up in news, we have some classic stuff. So the biggest news for this past week was the announcement on Fresh Start Realms for Wrath of the Lich King. You can see it says, these realms will be Wrath of the Lich King classic realms from day 1. So when they launch, they'll have all of the talent trees and player abilities coming with Wrath of the Lich King classic. But all players will start new characters at level 1. Fresh Start Realms will also come with a few stipulations. For at least 90 days, you will not be allowed to boost a character. For at least 90 days, Fresh Start Realms will not be available. Destinations for character transfers, and Death Knights cannot be created on these realms without a level 55 character on that same realm. As a reminder, This is one of several steps we're taking over the next few months to prepare for Wrath Classic. PvE to PvP transfer restrictions are removed. Wrath Classic closed beta test. Classic era clone service retired. Existing realms consolidated. New fresh start realms with the pre-patch and Wrath of the Lich King launch, of course. Yeah, so I'm not sure how I feel about these. I kind of want to make my Death Knight pretty much, as early as possible. Death Knights were a lot of fun in Wrath. So, yeah, from my understanding, this is your choice to be on a fresh start realm. You can stay on the other realm as far as I know. So, my plan is to just stay on the realm I'm on. And then that means I can make a Death Knight, right away. The most important thing to take from this is the second pointer there. That says for at least 90 days, there will be no transfers, basically. So, yeah, that means you absolutely have to wait 3 months before you can transfer a character. And with that said, I'd be interested in knowing your guys' thoughts. Do you think that's a long time to wait to transfer a character? As for will I be playing Wrath? Yeah. I love Classic, honestly. I just don't have time to play both. But basically you can always just kind of assume that I would be playing it. These are my favorite times in WoW, like Vanilla, BC, and Wrath. In my eyes, were the best times in the game, and then once Wrath ended, things took a turn slowly. You slowly kind of saw all the changes happen, and then 18 years later, you really notice them now, because there's been so many. But I will for sure be playing. Well, I have 3 characters that I would have for Wrath. Since I don't get a chance to play too often, I have 2 characters right now that I kind of putz around on. The Druid, of course, I wanted to relive the memory to the T pretty much. So I chose the Druid because that is what my first character was back in 2004. So that's what I made when Classic Vanilla came out, and then I had converted that character to the BC version. And yeah, so that's the main character I play. I also have a mage. She is more or less used for when people need ports, but I do occasionally level her. It is tough juggling the two. That's why not a whole lot happens, but I do my best. I do try. But yeah, it is really tough keeping up with 2 versions of WoW. Especially since it's it's the same shit, right? So it's 2 very grindy versions. And on the topic of Classic, this is something I've been pushing to the side for WoW Weekly. I've been waiting for a dead news week, and this week is the dead news week. So I am going to put this in the WoW Weekly finally. So I thought we would do a how to prepare for Wrath. So if you're in BC and you're just looking for, all the things you need to do, this is the list. So the first thing I will suggest is some of the attunement titles. So like Hand of Adal, there's Champion of the Neru. These will no longer be accessible in Wrath of the Lich King. I did find a place where you can kind of keep track of your attunement and figure out what the next quests are regarding these 2 titles, the Hand of Adal and Champions of the Neru. So I will link that in the description. It's a really good site. It's off of Wowhead, but you know, it's all a matter of finding the link, right? So I've done the work for you guys. It will show you the attunement order here, as you can see. And then if you just scroll under the page, you will see all the quest lines. They start at 70. And it will tell you step by step what to do to get to those titles. The next thing is the Amani Warbear from Zalaman. That will be removed. So that's going to get removed when the pre-patch arrives. Nax has some items that are unique to the expansion. So that would be like the Great Staff of the Guardian, Corrupted Ashbringer, and the Hunger and Cold. There are some others, but those are like the 3 real popular ones. This one is a really important one because the entire level 60 Nax Necropolis is removed in the pre-patch event for Wrath. So yeah, as many of you guys that play retail may know already, it was reimagined as a level 80 raid later on, which is in the first patch of Wrath of the Lich King, which basically means all the items that I mentioned before, plus some extras on top of that, are no longer obtainable. And then, of course, there is the 2-piece set for Resto Druids. It's the Dreamwalker set. Basically, your rejuvenation ticks have a chance to restore 60 mana, 8 energy, or 2 rage to your target. It has the potential to be a pre-raid best-in slot for Resto Druids. And in Wrath of the Lich King, the druids will obtain a 3-point talent near the end of the resto tree called Revitalize. And one thing to mention as well is Saffron, who is in Nax, has one of the best shoulder enchants. On the topic of gear, there's also Sunwells. There's the hunter weapon they can get in there. Obviously, we know that never gets removed. You know, like, you can still farm that in retail to this day. So, yeah, but it is a good piece to have in a version of WoW where you wouldn't be able to go solo that. And there's a lot of other pieces, but that's, you know, obviously the most recognizable piece in there. There's some trinkets there in Sunwell as well. They're all called Sliver with different names. And the rogues have a nice little Slayer's Armor 2-piece set there, which increases your haste from your slice and dice. So that's a pretty good one. Increases it by 5%. Professions, that is something I suggest pretty much all the time, even in retail. Professions are a great money maker, and you are going to need some money in Wrath. And just to expand on that, so that maybe some of you that maybe didn't play Wrath know, but when I say you're going to need some money, we are going to have like the cold weather flying. That costs 1,000 gold. There's also the dual talent specialization, which is another 1,000 gold. The Traveler's Tundra Mammoth will be available to you in Classic Wrath, and that is a huge amount of gold, 20,000, which is a lot of money in that version of WoW. This is, of course, the base price before any Exalted Rep perks have come into place. So if you wait until you're exalted with Curantor, you will be able to purchase this guy for 16,000. And this is 150 riding. You gotta be level 60. There is no level requirements for the seeding. So if you want to boot off the vendors and bring a couple of your friends on, they can be whatever level. I actually always forget that this is a 3-person mount because I never bring this mount out. And then also our last pricey purchase would be these rings that you see on screen here. I remember when I played Wrath, this was a farm. I farmed the gold to get this ring. I wanted the ring so bad because it had a teleport to Dalaran, which I still use a lot. And yeah, so definitely worth it. Plus it has good stats. This will cost you 8,500 gold, but the good part is it's a level 80 ring. So you got time. You don't need to have that 8,500 gold right away because you're going to need to be max level anyway to wear it. But it is a good one to get your hands on for when you are at that point. With all that said, I would try to get up to 30k gold. Of course, if you are casual like I am, that's going to be a tough task. But if you don't play retail and you pretty much main classic, you can do that. You know, you could get up there or get close to that. Okay, and the final tip I have is if you are looking to get the Realm First 80 achievement, which I imagine there's going to be a bunch trying to do this. So there is a technique that people use to do this. One of the biggest ones is that you find 25 quests to complete, which can then be turned in on the day Wrath of the Lich King Classic officially launches. So you just complete them. You don't hand them in. That is one little trick that people like to do, and it gives them roughly like half of a level of an advantage. And the other thing that you may want to do to help your cause pretty much is to find some friends to do dungeons with. One of the best ways to do this is to spam dungeons in a group and level that way. Leveling out in the open world is a good way too, but spamming dungeons is truly how you did it back in the day. They were more effective in the earlier days. Plus, you know, leveling with friends is fun, but they gotta have the same goals as you. If you're trying to get that Realm 80, you want to make sure you're grouped up with people who are gonna go consistent and you never stop, right? And that is my little quick list for things you may want to do. Of course, there's always, you know, more of the simple things like, you know, level some alts if you want that. You know, you'll have access to Death Knights in the pre-patch, so you can kind of start on that. Okay, so now some Diablo stuff, which I actually did return to this past weekend. I like the game, I just don't like the pay-to-win function, but I do still play it, and I like going after cosmetics, so, you know, I probably will put a little bit of money into it because you have to like empower the battle pass to get some of the cosmetics, and then there's also some on the store. And I said that day one, you know, that I probably would pay into cosmetics. I just won't pay into the pay to win aspect of it. You know, I'll treat it like WoW. WoW's the same thing. Like, I've thrown so much money at WoW due to mounts, pets, cosmetics, you know, like, yeah. So, Diablo Immortal got a hotfix this past week. So you can see that it has to do with the library, which I actually just did a quest line of. And then there's some stuff regarding the A13 device. I actually don't even know what an A13 is. I run a Galaxy S10, so I have no idea what these A13s are. But yeah, unfortunately will not be supported. Sucks for you if you have an A13, I guess. So that's basically all I have for Diablo Immortal stuff. Moving over to D4. So D4 got some merchandise on the shop this past week. I will leave a link to the Diablo shop page because I don't want to screenshot all of it. And there's a lot of good stuff. So I just suggest that you go to the site and just check it out for yourself. There is a lot of nice framed print. Some of the shirts are nice, but definitely I am liking the posters. And I swear to God, the Lilith statue got pricier. I feel like it was $600 before, and now that price is $800. Yeah, but I swear, when I went to BlizzCon in 2019, which is where they were announcing that statue, there was even a girl cosplaying her to promote it, and I swear it was 600, because I remember back then the regular statues for WoW were like 350, which are now 500, I think. And yeah, so obviously they jumped up that price when they jumped up the WoW statues. Yeah. So another thing is we got to see this right here. So this is kind of like the Paragon board. We found out that the leveling process in Diablo 4 is going to be roughly a 35-hour experience. So definitely a lot of leveling content there. Max level, they were saying that your character will reach around level 45 once the campaign's completed, and that the character level will go to 100 through Paragon points. And I guess to unlock those, you will need to complete a dungeon to gain access. So the Paragon board will unlock at level 50, and it sounds like you're gonna get 4 Paragon points per level. With the info that the level will rise to 100 through Paragon points, that basically means each character will have a total of like 200 Paragon points. And we did see that we will be fighting some world bosses in D4. There's 2 that they've kind of shown us so far. And that is Ashava, which is this one, and then there's also the Treasure Beast. They did make mention that there are 3 world bosses. So those are just 2 of the 3, and yeah, so we don't know what the third one is yet. Okay, and the last thing I'd like to talk about in today's video is Overwatch 2. So this past week we got a reveal on Overwatch 2. And we also got a cinematic. I am going to play the cinematic in today's video. And before that, I just thought we would go over some details on Overwatch 2, because I'm actually liking how they're doing Overwatch 2. I think it's a very smart way to do things. So basically, it's going to be a free-to-play. So Overwatch 2 will be free. They had already told us prior that your cosmetics would transfer over, and it does look like there's gonna be cross progression, and they did confirm that there will be no loot boxes in Overwatch 2. There will, however, be a battle pass, which makes sense since they're making it free to play. And yeah, so there will be a battle pass, and it'll have an all new and consistently updated in-game shop. It's going to deliver seasonal content every 9 weeks. During these seasons, you can expect to see a new hero every other season. So every second season, we'll get new maps and new game modes between as well. So they did kind of show us what we would get for season 1. So we're going to get Sojourn, Junker Queen, and there's one they didn't announce that's going to be like a support hero, as well as the new 5v5 PvP experience, reworked heroes, new maps and modes, and some more stuff. When season 2 approaches, they're going to introduce a new tank hero, map, and a collection of unique skins. And then they're going to also move the story forward with the release of the new PvE experience in 2023, along with more new heroes and maps and game modes. And that's basically what we know so far, the nice and quick version of it that I just gave you. I like this. I actually have nothing against battle passes. Yes, in a sense, they do bring more money. Because typically there's a reason to expand on the battle pass. Like, for example, in Diablo Immortal right now, there's the battle pass, but if you get the empowered battle pass that's like $7, then you get better items. As well as if you get the collector's battle pass for the 20, you get even more items, right? So there will definitely be a reason to maybe increase this battle pass, but overall, if you never felt the need for that reason, you could play it for free. I think this is a great idea. I hope it does well for the community. I'm looking forward to seeing what new characters they have in store for, you know, all the seasons and stuff. And I like the idea that all those seasons, well, every second one anyway, comes with all these new things. And I do think it's smart that the new hero is going to be every other season, because if it was every season, I think they would run out of ideas fast, you know. But with every other season, you shouldn't have a huge downtime. Like, if that moment arises, it won't feel like you got no new content for a really long time. So yeah, I like that aspect. So with that said, I'm gonna play the trailer that is the Junk Queen. So this is the Wastelander. This is an animated short, and it introduces the Junk Queen as one of the new characters. And I think she's pretty badass. I hope you enjoyed WoW Weekly this week, guys, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Take them out with the rest of the garbage. Let the wasteland deal with them.
Mom? Dad? What's happening?
Please let the kids stay, you monster!
We fought in a war together, Mason. Don't do this.
Please! Don't leave us out here alone!
Get out of my city!
What? I'm not allowed to have a bad dream? No Wastelander has ever made it to the Reckoning before. But here I am. A free-for-all, with zero rules. And the survivor gets the throne.
Welcome back, Chunker.
King Howell has never lost, not in 13 years of rule.
On the battlefield.
Not until today.
The reckoning begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1!
Did you really think this would be a fair fight? You don't survive the reckoning unless the winner grants you mercy. That's why I've got to win this whole thing. All right, let's get this started. like you ain't so bad. You know how to fight dirty. I want scabs like him on my side when I'm queen. Speaking of, come on, big boy. Whoa! Off target by this much. G'day, Mary.
What are you smiling about?
If you're smart enough to run the Tinkers, why are you working for this strong guy?
Like you'd be any better.
At least I wouldn't shoot my friends in the back.
Wastelander scum! Why won't you just die?
Because we're stronger than you. You haven't had a real fight. In 13 years, we had them every bloody day!
I am the king! I own everyone here!
Not in this arena. What the? This meathead has a bigger magnet? Figures. Go! That could have gone better.
You idiot! I'll kill you for that!
No. Not today.
Wait! Mercy!
I'll give you the same mercy you showed my family 13 years ago. Get out of my city. Well, that turned out all right, didn't it? But now they're probably wondering what sort of changes I'll make around here. Well, buckler, they're about to find out.
This is the legend of the Dugout Queen! Watch your back, see the hurt machine! Fought the world since 17! She better down with currency!
Sojourn. Engaging. The world could always use more heroes. If only it were that easy. After all, heroes aren't born. They're made. Attack with me! Not on my watch.
I cannot be stopped!
Canadian hospitality.
Enemy forces incoming! I'll clear a path!
Sojourn, engaging. Coming through. Ha! Disrupting. Breaking them down. Nice work, team. Keep it moving.
We're playing by my rules.
Railgun powered and ready to fire. Now or never. Never tell me the odds. I already know them.
Which one's your favorite? Mine's Tracer. She's like, Chestnut, the cavalry's here. You're one of those heroes, aren't you?
Before me, I see the future. Human. Machine.
You know there's more out there, don't you?
Even the best journeys end. But a new one is right around the corner.
Hammer strike!
I am your queen!
Let's take him to the wasteland!
One punch is all I need.
Nice work, team. Keep it moving.
I cannot wait to push. Draw.
Yippee-ki-yay!
Boom, baby!
Check me out.
Do something!
Get in there.
It takes a team to tango.